Such affectionate acceptance.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
They were big. They were hitting hard too, man.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Broaden the areas of participation for women.
That sounds very stylish.
What is my problem? What do you think?
Beat sitting home watching television?
Hello. How's everyone doing today? Had a few people in the chat, so I didn't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. And besides, it's 4:45, so why be late and gay when you can start on time? Thank you for the people that kind of joined me on short notice. I really appreciate it. We had Awesome One, who was the first one there. Yo, yo, yo. Thank you so much for joining me. Immortal Rising, great to see you. Love the book, by the way. Let's see who else we have. The great Mo Biggs. I haven't seen Mo in quite some time. It's great to see you, Mo. Who else do we have in here joining us today? The great Jimmy Reyes. How you doing, buddy? Bunch of NDAs on your NDAs. Let's see. We have Brian Dunham. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. And Norin Rad too. This is just going to be kind of I guess a quick stream. We'll see how it goes. We'll see who trickles in and everything. What's up, Dr. Ben? Doctor. So anyway, I went and saw that new movie, Civil War, which at first I was not going to see the movie because, to be quite frank, the trailer did not do it any justice whatsoever. Let's see. Hey, Paul Higgins. Nice to see you. Hail, hail. The trailer kind of made it seem like it was going to be your typical kind of washed in politics type of film where, you know, you got to have the good guys, which are these days typically the the far left, and then the bad guys, which are typically painted as the far right. This movie doesn't have any of that. I would call, liberal crap. Yeah. And it's sad that it's that way now because, the two parties, which don't even get me started on that. I hate that there's only a two-party system. But the two parties are very polarized, but it used to be in the past that, you guys could have just, a really fiery argument kind of spitting at one another. But at the end of the day, we kind of do a handshake and it's like, all right, I get you, dude. You just have your way of thinking. I have my way of thinking. No, these days they want to, you have extreme people on both sides, but these days the ones that have really become, I guess, radicalized and everything, they just want to see you burn. They don't want you to spread your filthy rhetoric or whatever. But that was what I was afraid of going into the movie because we get a lot of that coming, hitting us every day, bombarding us every day. You pick up your phone, you look at Twitter, and it's pretty much a nightmare. I don't even know why I do it. Every morning I get up and I kind of peruse, see, what the latest drama is. And it's like, why did I do it? Big mistake. But, so again, I did not see the movie when it first came out. I think it dropped this past Friday, and I wasn't going to see it. But the good fellows over at Film Threat, which if you aren't subscribed, I highly recommend subscribing to them. They are great movie reviewers. So I trust a lot of what they have to say. I don't always agree with them, but I'd say more often than not, when they recommend a movie, I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to see. So, the horrible trailer for this movie aside, it's not all propaganda in your face. I would say that this movie is a warning, to a wake-up call to both of the sides. Everything in politics right now is just so polarizing. And it's like, why? We all have to share, we have to share this planet, but we have to share this, this country of ours. And I know there's a lot of things that have been really disappointing, especially to me, that's been going on politically. And it just, Every generation says that, this is the worst time. This is the end times. It's going to end soon. With this generation, it really does feel like everything's crazy. You have the conflict going on with Israel and Palestine, and just all the nuttiness of that. Hey, Marcus, come to join the Civil War talk. So I initially I wasn't sure what to expect, but when this movie kicks off, you're not really sure what's going on. You just kind of see the fallout. It seems like the war, the Civil War in America has been going on for quite some time. The MFers lied to us. Which MFers? They're all MFers. All all of them up there running things are all MFers. That's all I have to say. It doesn't matter. Both sides of the same coin. I'm gonna kind of drift off into another tangent here, but yeah, it's politics is just so nasty, so dirty. They said it'd be over. What? Oh yeah. But yeah, it's like we don't have Democrats, we don't have Republicans, we have Republicrats and Demicans, or whatever you want to call them. But back to the movie. So the movie, like I said, it starts out, the war has been raging for a while, and the movie is kind of, it follows 4 journalists. The journalists are kind of like the only ones that can move around freely in this busted ass United States that we're now living in this fictional movie. Let me see if I can bring up the map here for you guys. Let's show this on screen. This was the cast. So the 4 main people in the movie, you have Kirsten Dunst, which I haven't really seen her in a while. It was kind of a little bit jarring to see her older. For some reason, I always have her in my mind as Mary Jane, from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man series. That we had Wagner, I hope I'm saying that right, Wagner Mora. He was really good. He's kind of like the driver and the planner. He's not really the photographer. He kind of rallies Kirsten and a couple of the other reporters that come onto the scene, gets them together and gets them to the different places to get, the money shot and everything. Finally, the real heroes getting some recognition. Journalists. That's almost like a dirty word now, journalists. It's like, may we never speak of them again. It wouldn't be, but everything is just so one-sided. But I digress. Wagner Mora, he played, and I didn't recognize him at the time, but apparently he played, what's his name? From Narcos, Pablo Escobar. And which I guess is a testament to his good acting, because it was just different roles. And I thought he did really well. He has a couple of emotional scenes where the tension and everything's just mounting and everything's crazy. And he just, he has to let it out. And he did really well. Then you have kind of the young Kaylee. Let's see I got to zoom in. Got these old eyes going on. Kaylee Spaney. She plays kind of a wet behind the ears reporter. She's new. She just kind of wants to get into the action right away. And she hasn't really experienced a lot of the brutality of these different war zones. And again, when the movie starts out, she's there trying to get a few shots. Kirsten Dunst is there along with Wagner. And there's this big protest in New York. And you just have people that are trying to get water because everything's just devastated up there. And, everything that we take for granted, the power, the water, roads, accessible roads, all that kind of stuff. Well, it's just not that easy now because of the Civil War. So she has to, she's trying to get the shot of all the chaos going on. And Kirsten kind of sees her almost like a deer in the headlights, just kind of putting herself out there a little too much, risking herself. She doesn't have any of the press, badges or anything like that where people can recognize, this is not a target. This is the press. You kind of want to let her be. So she runs over to the girl to kind of, say, hey, what the heck are you doing? This is for real, And right when she kind of comes over to talk to her and kind of slaps some sense into her, so to speak, a crazy person out of the crowd carrying a flag just runs out into the middle of everything and then bam, blows them up. So right from the start of the movie, you kind of go like, all right, this is for real. This is showing the insanity of war. And the other kind of reporter guy, Stephen McKinley, I really liked him. He kind of played an old grizzled, I've seen it all, Paulo Escar. But yeah, he played an old grizzled. I've seen a lot of shit. I've lived a long time kind of guy, and he wants to get the last scoop. He kind of wants to be there when they eventually go and storm DC and take out the corrupt president of the United States. And another thing I wanted to mention real quick here, as I'm going to switch screens real quick here, share this tab instead. Let me make sure it's sharing. And I do apologize. I don't have ad blockers. So you're just going to see all of this garbage on here. Like, yeah, get an espresso. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. But we're going to go up here. Do they have the flag? For Pete's sake. Okay, so this is the corrupt president here. You may not recognize him with his clean baby face there, but that is the gentleman from Parks and Recreation, Nick Offerman, who plays Ron Swanson, but he's the corrupt president. And you have, I don't know why bear with me here, guys. I'm trying to find the map. Here we go. Okay, so this is how the corrupt president. So it's a fantasy movie. Yeah. Corrupt president. What the heck were they thinking? So the rift in the country, this was kind of weird. You have Texas and California that have kind of broken off. They are part of the Western forces. So they seceded from the Union. Then you have up here kind of in the north western states, the New People's Army. Florida is the Florida Alliance, and everything here in the darker green, these are the ones that stayed loyal to the Union and to the corrupt president, Offerman. So the rebel forces, the Western forces, they're trying to mount this attack where they can make it all the way over to DC and oust the corrupt president. And what he did, and they don't really make this. They don't beat you over the head with it. You kind of hear from a couple soldiers in passing and some radio broadcasts what happened. But apparently the president abolished the FBI. And then he used the military and drone attacks and everything to actually hunt down and kill Americans on American soil. So it sounds crazy, but at the same time, it doesn't sound all that far-fetched, because we even have, several years ago, we had, I think it was Obama who ordered drone attacks, not within our own borders, in overseas, I think in the Middle East somewhere, but he ordered drone attacks on American citizens. So, kind of unprecedented at the time, but, here in this movie, it's kind of showing, it's not too far out of the realm of possibility. And the thing that's nice is they could have really easily made it seem like this was, like a bash Trump this or that. But he was just kind of again, like I said, this movie seems to be coming from the standpoint of this is a cautionary tale. Like, we are so divided right now. Everything is so on edge that it just takes it just a spark, and all of this insanity could possibly happen. And I like that about this movie because, you don't want that. I've met a few people. I've actually had some relatives that, they always talk, puff their chest out. And granted, these are people that have never served in the military. They haven't seen combat, but they're like, yeah, if Civil War broke out, I'd do this and do that. And, let some commie, hippie come over and do that. And I'm just like, you're so stupid. The last thing we want is a war. That's the act of last resort. We don't want the war. We want to try to do everything we can to prevent a war, because nobody, at the end of the day, nobody really wins with war. It's, just horrible. People on both sides have to do horrible things. And it's just, it leaves a scar on the country and everything. So that was one thing that, really stuck out about this movie, what I appreciated about the movie. So again, let me go back here. So it says nearly the entire East Coast except Florida remain part of the United States based on the Civil War map. The westernmost states that have not seceded, boy, I get tongue-tied, are Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. And so, yeah, they were talking about how it's interesting because they're going to face conflict from the South, or the mid kind of Southern, with Texas and everything, and then also California and the other forces there. So it's just really nuts. So anyway, going back to the girl that was kind of rough green behind the ears. Let's see. Go back up here. So she's like a deer in a headlight. Kirsten Dunst rescues her from being, just blown up, and she's trying to talk some sense into her, and Kirsten Dunst has been doing this for quite some time. And so she's seen stuff, and you can tell that she's kind of shut herself off from everything. The only thing that really drives her now is trying to get the shot, trying to get the story. And she even questions, why do I still do this anymore? I used to do it. I used to go out to battlefields and get the shots. And so everyone would know and see the horrors. And so it would warn them. And yet, here we are. The war still rages on. So what is it all for? But yet she's still driven to at least make it, to finally see Swanson ousted from the presidency. So let me see. How is everyone doing here? Let's see what's going on here in the chat. Mo was saying, so the president abolished the FBI, but he also did some bad stuff too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of controversial now, FBI, all that kind of stuff, especially, with the evidence supporting that they had a huge part with Jan 6 and all that kind of stuff. And, there's not a lot of public trust with our big alphabet agencies right now. And I can't say I blame anybody. You get that kind of power and authority over people, and they start getting this God complex. Let's see. Love nuggets. Obama has the record on drone strikes on civilians. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Both sides are definitely capable of despicable things. Let's see this here. So after that lovely confrontation in New York, they have some time to rest. Things have settled down a little bit. The battle's subsided. Kristen tries to talk some more sense into the young girl, and it's like, you don't want to do this. You're too young. It's just crazy. But then they they have a conversation with old grizzled. Let me share this here with old grizzled Stephen McKinley. He plays Sammy. And he works for kind of a rival news organization, but they decide to bring him on. And Wagner, who plays Joel, he decides to bring on Kaylee to, they're going to go to DC and hopefully get to do an interview with the president before the president is ousted. And So, which is almost a death sentence, Sammy was saying, because apparently no one's been able to have an interview with the president for, I think they said about 14 months. And any reporter that tries to get in to Washington, into the White House to have an interview, they're pretty much shot on sight. So Sammy's like, what are you guys doing? This is a death sentence. But because there's rumors that the Western forces are going to be trying to make their way there and oust the president in this one final push, they decide, okay, let's make it. Excuse me. And they can't go directly, from New York down to DC because, as you would imagine, all the major highways have been kind of shut down or destroyed, to control the flow of forces and everything in and out. So they have to kind of do this roundabout way. They mention going to Charlottesville and everything. So the whole movie is kind of along the way up until their final destination, when they're going to, hopefully get the money shot of, the Western forces taking out the president. So along the way, it's really creepy because they go through kind of small town USA and everything. And they're going through these back roads and it's just so kind of eerie. The soundtrack's interesting in the movie because they play kind of old, I guess, war songs, not the really cliche stuff, like you're not hearing Hendrix and, all along the Watchtower and stuff like that. But it almost feels like it clashes sometimes with the battles that are taking place on screen. But I think it works in a way because I think they want to make it clash, to just make it even more accentuated of how crazy and everything the battle is. So you go from small town to small town, and you see all these little firefights and everything, and you're not really sure who to root for. That's what's kind of cool about following the reporters, because they're strictly neutral. It's like filming, National Geographic when they're out filming a lion hunting, a cute little antelope or something. Yeah, Fifi's War. It's how the reporters or not reporters, but the photographers, the National Geographic people, they'll see something really cute and adorable, and its death is impending, but they can't do anything. They're just there to kind of be the eyes for the people back in civilized societies. So yeah, so the reporters are just kind of watching everybody get shot up, and they're right there with the rebels. They're right there, with the resistance people. And they get pretty close to the combat as the rebels are trying to penetrate an area, and the soldiers that are trying to repel the attack are there. And sometimes you're not really sure. It doesn't seem like it's the pro-president versus the Western forces. Like sometimes it's almost like these pocket little battles are going on. And they have this shootout in a building, and you just see this one guy. He's pinned down behind a pillar, and his buddies are trying to get him out, with smoke grenades and everything. Neutral reporters. That's an M. Night Shyamalan level of twist. I know, right? Yeah. What happened to that? We used to have that, but it was kind of refreshing, a refreshing novel idea for this movie. I like a little bit of good fiction here and there. And so, during this battle, when that poor guy's pinned down, they try to throw some smoke bombs and give suppressing fire so he can get out. But the dude ends up getting clipped. And, the girl's trying to take pictures, the young green girl. And she's just so horrified because I guess this is like the first time that she was up close and right there and captured, something so dramatic and watching somebody die. And there's this one point too where they have to, as they're making their way along the country bumpkin roads, they see a little gas station, similar to ones I've seen, going along the backcountry roads a number of times. And they kind of scope it out. They're like, I don't know. And there's this car wash kind of connected to the gas station, and they have people, opposing forces that have been captured, and they're just strewn up there, hanging like some turkeys or something in a window. And the people are not going to let them fill up on gas until they're and Kirsten Dunst offers them. She's like, look, we just, we want to fill up. We have half a tank. We just want to fill up to make sure we can get to our destination. And she even offers the guys $300. And they're like, $300? That could get you a ham sandwich. And she's like, no, $300 Canadian, which that's kind of funny because, the Canadian dollar is definitely not what it used to be. And it's really down against the American dollar now. So to have them kind of salivate and decide to sell them, a resource, a valuable resource such as fuel to these people because they're being offered Canadian dollars. I thought that was kind of interesting. It was like you could pretty much wipe your rear end with the American dollar, but the Canadian dollar, yeah. Oh, Canadian deal. Yeah, exactly. But while the Escobar guy is, filling the tank up, waiting with the old grizzled guy, the Kirsten Dunst takes, the Kaylee Spaney girl, she ends up going to take a look at the guys that are strewn up like turkeys there. One of the soldiers, rebel soldiers, walks over there with her. And he's like, hey, yeah, we've been torturing these guys for the last 2 days. Maybe I'll let you decide. Do you want them to live? Do you want them to die? And these guys, I mean, their face is swollen up. It's gnarly. Like you can tell they've been brutally beaten. And, of course, the girl's just like horrified, like I'm going to be responsible for these people's, whether they live or die. But so she's just, again, kind of like a deer in a headlights. This is horrible. So Kirsten Dunst kind of takes her back, and the girl's complaining how she was frozen. She didn't know what to do. And Kirsten's just telling her, look, you're going to get there. It's brutal. This line of work is brutal. Imagine that. Imagine filming horrible, the horrors of war and people getting shot, limbs blown up, people being strewn up. Imagine that being horrible. But it still hasn't really clicked with this girl yet. I guess it's one of those things like until you experience it and live it, it's not, you're really not going to get it. They continue on their journey. There's this one point where it was really eerie. There's one of those kind of drive-through Christmas things. I don't know if many towns have this, but they have where you can stay in your car and, you drive through and they have Santa set up and this and that, and they play music. Well, this thing, it's just remnants left. And yet somehow there was a bubble maker still blowing bubbles, but you hear the Christmas music and it's just very odd because it's, nowhere near Christmas time. But then they're way off in the distance. There's this sniper in a house, and he's just trying to fire or take out these two soldiers that they're hidden, trying to take the guy out. And again, it's like all these normal or what would otherwise be normal locations, normal situations. You're just like, what the freaking heck? It's so weird because it's now battleground. In this country, we're so used to seeing war-torn areas and battles far away from us. But when you actually see it in our environment and it's not some sort of fictional movie or, it really clashes with the brain. It's hard to take in. Yeah, exactly. What is it good for? As the warmongers carry cases of cash to the bank, it really drives me crazy. I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like I can't even talk about it anymore. I can't listen to the news because you just after a while you're like blah, 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 blah. Crazy. war-torn areas away from the USA, have we been ignoring Chicago? Good point. Very good point. I haven't been ignoring Chicago. I've been trying to just avoid Chicago. So, yeah, I guess maybe it's a blessing in disguise that um, some of the Comicsgate people were canceled from C2E2. I was going to go there, but I'm like, maybe it's a sign, because that convention center is not exactly in the best of areas. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe a stray something or other might have hit somebody, and that wouldn't have been fun at all. So things happen in mysterious ways. So anyway, like I said, they have to deal with that sniper and that weird kind of Christmassy scene. And so they're continuing on. They go to Charlottesville, which it's kind of interesting that they would go to Charlottesville, because that's where, you know, the riots broke out and everything a couple years ago. I think that was the one related to George Floyd. After a while, all these conflicts start bleeding together, and it's a lunacy. Let's see, I'm angry. Let me burn down the place where I live, you know? Yeah, my Civil War. How you doing, Ellie Frog Capo? I like the name. Oh, okay. So Enrique was saying, I just meant that Chicago looks like Fallujah after the Marines got done with it. Yeah, it's really sad. The last time I went to Chicago, when was the last time I went to Chicago? I think 2005. It was for an old Doctor Who convention. Went there, and it was fun. I remember going up into the Sears Tower. I think it might have just been after it was no longer called the Sears Tower. I can't remember. But we went up there, and I was so annoyed. We went all the way to the top. It was kind of late evening time. I'm like, waited in line, paid the money to come up here, can't see anything, all this fog. But it was around Christmas time. So when we finally went back down, I was like, it's snowing. And it was just so beautiful. And being a Florida girl, you know, I was cheered up immediately, because we don't really get that much snow in Florida. So yeah, that was my last experience with that. We went to like a Mongolian barbecue and everything, went to a few museums. It was nice. I'd love to go back to Chicago, but not when they have people. I know that Beetlejuice lady's not in charge anymore, but they keep hiring or electing people there that just don't know what the heck is going on, what the heck they're doing. Yeah, I don't want to go and give a city that doesn't seem to care about its visitors any money. So moving on with that. Let's see. There are a few places in my city with boarded up houses and unkept landscaping. Yeah, you could find that anywhere. Not too far away from me, because I live close to the Alabama border. Yeah, the Florida Alabama border. Woo! But you go to some of those places, and you know, you see the cars on the cinder blocks, and houses that look like they just were left. Like somebody just closed the door one day and said, "I'm done," and now the trees and the grass and everything's trying to reclaim them. And you know, some things that look like they were firebombed out. It's crazy. We're the land of plenty for sure, but it's really just nuts. Imagine, Mo says, imagine if your legacy was being that Beetlejuice lady. Yeah, I know. I don't get that woman. That woman was just nuts, and she looked ill. And I mean, I know some chicanery went on to get her elected. It would have to be, because who the hell would look at that on a political poster and go, yeah, that's my gal. That's who I'm getting behind. She's going to make everything all right. It's like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I look at that and I scream, and I want to run the other way. Like, hide your wife, hide your kids from that lady. She's just, yeah, Beetlejuice lady now with shrunken head. Hey, I remember that from Beetlejuice's heads. Like, come here, kick your ass. His head shrinking. Her corruption and incompetence ran as deep as her inbred genes. Yeah. Do we even know where her ancestors hailed from? I mean, she looked like she was her her great grandfather and her great grandmother and her mom, dad, and everything all at once, like in some sort of swamp stew. They just mixed her DNA up and up came that woman. Had the bulging eyes and everything. Her eyes were all me. Scary stuff, scary stuff. So at the end of the day, going back to the movie, there are some conflicts where it really hits close to home for green behind the ears Kaylee Spaney, and it even hits Kirsten Dunst. It's just, even as hardened as you, or as she is, it's just there's always something that just really can hit you even harder. And they lose one of their own, and it just, I think Kirsten Dunst is kind of like, I'm just kind of done with this. I've had enough. And the young girl, she's like, I've never been more afraid in my whole life, and yet never felt more alive. And it's almost like there's this, I don't know if I'd call it a passing of the torch, but it's like you can almost see Kirsten Dunst's character go, all right, I'm just, I can't do it anymore. And then you have Kaylee's character, where she's just, amped up. She's had that adrenaline rush, and she's ready to just, do what it takes to get that shot, because her, adrenaline is just like, yeah. Shifty, hey. Hey, Abra, just got here, watching from beginning at 1.5 speed. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, I don't even want to know what I sound like. I have to do that too. There's so many great streams by so many great people that I do that a lot. So sometimes I forget what everyone really sounds like in real time. But thank you. I'm so glad that you are here and you are watching from the beginning and joining us. Let's see. What did Awesome One say back up here? 400 an hour. She will find corruption in her sugar packs, looking anywhere to keep the cash flowing. Oh Lord. I love you guys with your with your comments. Munchkinabra. We're all part of the Lollipop Guild, I guess. So the whole thing, the whole movie kind of culminates in this, the dramatic showdown at the White House. And this movie was produced by A24, the production company that kind of does the indie movies and everything. And so, they have mostly lower budget movies, but I was reading this one, they actually spent $50 million. And I think they used it where it counts. So you have the military choppers and tanks, MRAPs, all that, the different vehicles, the soldiers that look pretty good in the final fight of the movie, the takedown of the president. And it was interesting how they go in there, and when they eventually do confront Offerman's character, the president, and he's just begging for his life, and and then it's like, that's it, and then that's the end of the movie. It doesn't really go out with it goes out with a whimper more than a bang. So the ending is a little kind of like I still give this movie a recommend, just because of the whole, it's sort of like not the destination, it's the journey kind of thing. The whole time when you're watching the movie, and I felt like it was shot really well. They have a couple interesting moments there where it kind of hits you emotionally. And so I think they did well. I would give this movie maybe a 6.5 or a 7. So yeah, better than the average, like 5 out of 10. Probably don't need to see this again. I might if it's on cable, but well, not even cable, but just something where I can easily access it on one of the streaming services. Yeah, here we go. Moromi. This movie meanders in the middle. It didn't pick a side, and making the audience choose is not smart. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I didn't really feel like I had to pick a side. I kind of felt like I was watching from or as a reporter, just kind of watching the insanity unfold. I don't. I didn't want to pick a side. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to be in that situation where you would have to pick a side. It was just, it was brutal. It's kind of unnerving in a lot of places, but I think it's good for people to watch. Especially, I would recommend it if you know anybody that seems to have this kind of gung ho like attitude, where yeah, just test me, bring it on. I'll kick some ass. It's probably good to show them something like this. That yeah, it's not pretty. All kinds of horrible things are going to go down. All sorts of great people are going to get hurt. Yeah, it's not a great situation. Yeah, war never is. Civil war, especially not good. You have just like the first Civil War. You have families and families divided against each other, neighbor versus neighbor. Just ugh, nobody wants that. Let's see, what do we got? Mo Biggs, go. Fishman, I got no time for cards, Lou. Keep your eyes peeled for anything strange. I know I didn't do that any justice. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to pick sides until a rich man north of Richmond tries that in a small town. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. I just want to live and let live. I wish we could all have that mentality, but just some things. You got to eventually have to draw that line in the sand. And I get it. What is this? You trying to do math at me? What the heck is this? I'm a girl. I don't do math. They don't teach math in the Bible. I'm retarded. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my Civil War Solve for X. I can't. There's too many of them. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts. I did see a few trailers that looked interesting. One of them is about the Night Stalker killer. That looked interesting. I still haven't made my mind up on the new Bad Boys movie that's coming out, especially with the whole shenanigans with Will Smith. Hollywood's just weird. I don't even know what to say. But I mean, I like a good action movie, and that definitely looked like a great action movie, albeit you'll have to switch the brain cells off to watch it and just kind of, all right, give me that popcorn. I'm just going to not think and then enjoy all the craziness, big explosions, fast cars, lots of bullets. It should be a good time. What was the other one? So you had the Night Stalker movie, which he's kind of in the background. The whole premise is there's this porn star that wants to be famous. What was her name? Maxine something or other. So the movie's supposed to revolve around her, but then you have the whole Night Stalker thing in the back. Yeah, Mo, there's a new Bad Boys movie coming out. I would try to avoid such a cinematic entanglement. Well, I mean, I have never seen the first three. I hear that the first one was pretty good, but I don't know. Do you guys think it's worth investing on the first three to get to watch this one? The last one seemed a little bit cheesy. I know that came out, I think, during the height of COVID and everything. What else did I see the trailer for? Oh, the Twisters movie. That's another one that looks like it could be a good CG fest just to watch, all the special effects. I remember being wowed when the first one came out. It terrified me. That's one of my fears. I have a fear of fire and I have a fear of tornadoes. But yeah, just seeing the Twister on stage with the or on screen with the original, I was just and the sirens and everything. Yeah, it's just freaky. Getting a report here on Bad Boys. Bad Boys 1 was pretty good. 2 I never saw. 3 I never will. Okay, got it. Well, I guess we'll watch 1 and see if we want to invest in going any further than that. The thing that I have a problem with an action movie, this just pisses me off to no end, is when they have all of this juicy looking action, but then you can't see it because the camera is just and that really drives me crazy with hand-to-hand combat scenes. Not so much, it's not as annoying if it's a firefight and everything, although, I still kind of like to see everything in the firefight. But my goodness, the hand-to-hand stuff, when they blur that, I'm just like, why? Why did you even film it then? Like, just get 2 puppets and kind of throw them together and shake the camera and say that's, yeah, it is. It's like the plague that won't go away. We need like a purging cleanse of shaky cam. I think that if it's used very, very sparingly in very specific cases, it makes sense, but not the whole damn movie, especially when you're trying to bill your feature as an action movie. It's like I'm there to see the action. Like, it's not a hard concept. Solve for X. Let's see. Plus, directors seem to have forgotten how to do a night. Oh my gosh, yeah, night scenes. The audience is supposed to be able to see. I know it's kind of, you have to suspend some belief because there are certain scenes where it's supposed to be nighttime, and if they kept the accuracy, then it would just be a black screen and you would just hear stuff going on in the background. So, but you do need to have some light because I don't want to, hear heavy breathing and all this crazy, just like a blur go by. And then, I'm told that something really exciting's happening, but I can't see it, it's like, no. Oh gosh. Yeah. The badly edited action scenes are another crime against humanity. Yeah. The fast cuts. It's like, for the love of God, let this scene breathe for a moment. Let me take it in. Let me see. I mean, you're paying these actors and stunt people to do all these amazing scenes, and then it's boop, 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 boop. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, you trying to give me a stroke? I don't want a stroke. Don't give me a stroke. I still believe in cinema too. I think that we might have to rely more on the indie scene to help us out. Hollywood's struggling a bit, but there are some glimmers of hope out there. And as long as independents have a means of getting their stuff out there, I think there's still hope. What else did they show? So the Twister movie does look very hokey, and I do expect that there will probably be a lot of eye roll inducing scenes, but it might be fun. So I'm gonna see if I want to see. Well, I'll see how the reviews go. It won't be like an opening night. I'm there standing in line to get a ticket kind of thing. It's going to be kind of, let me see as the word trickles in. How it goes. I'll have to turn to my guys over at Film Threat and see what they say. Chris Gore and Alan Ing. Again, I'm mentioning them. If you like movies and you want some good recommendations, definitely check them out. They're good guys. Let's see. What else did they show? There was some weird, like, acid trip looking movie with the guy that I think played the bard or the cleric in that Dungeons and Dragons movie. He also played in the second Jurassic World movie. Hey, Admiral Wackass, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Great to see you. Great to see you. We were just talking about Civil War. I survived. Yeah. I gave it about a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Worth a watch at least once. Probably all you need. Jeremy Bertz, thank you so much for joining. Oops. Guys, I'm moving so fast. No one is talking about Fallout. I haven't seen it. Have you seen any of the episodes yet? Did they drop it all, or are they feeding it to you an episode a week? I've seen a couple of the trailers that looked okay. And I tried. See, I think the problem with me is I didn't invest in the game. I dabbled in it very briefly, and I was like, I like this, I respect it, but I don't think I have the time to be able to invest in it to do it justice. It's like one of those things. I really love role playing movie or games, but it just requires so much time. I need something that I can kind of play for a little bit and just go, okay, I'm good. Pause it and go do what I need to do. Okay, so they did drop it all. Stop putting it in the title. Well, this is Fallout from the Civil War. Yeah. Bait and switch. I duped you, suckers. So they dropped it all. What do you think? Is it worth watching? Or is it a pass? The one dude that got his face like mauled off, I saw that. That looked interesting. But then I saw a clip where a guy in one of those like soldier heavy suits started levitating or something. That looked a little weird. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Kind of going off the rails. Let me see. Let me see what we can do here. This is when I normally turn to my dog and I go, Bailey, what are your thoughts? Let's see. Fallout. Well, this was the trailer from a month ago. I wonder if they'll strike me. Well, let's play it and see. I'm going to pull this up. Is this it? Okay, so that's from Prime Video. All right, let me pause this and share this.
I'm going to show you a wonderful place. A veritable Camelot of the nuclear age. Not
Yeah, I remember
like
that guy.
Almighty, but
The Pep Boy guy.
You can be a hero by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today.
I don't know if I'd want to live like that.
The world is going to need you to build a better day after.
Yeah, I remember in the game. So you're going into the Fallout shelter. Pause, I said, pause. Yeah, so the dude with his wife, and I guess she's pregnant, they're going to the Fallout shelter, and it's just very chaotic because I guess the battle's about to happen, so they're trying to go there, and they usher the wife with the baby somewhere else, and the guy, gets frozen in his little pod. But yeah, when he wakes up and his wife and baby have been unlived, that's just horrible. The ghoul, that's the dude with the no face man. Ray. How's it going, Ray? Hail Comicsgate. Let's see. My favorite part of Fallout is when you find the vault that lets you live a normal life, and then they start playing psyops on you, and you have to break out. Good shit. Sounds interesting. Chris Pine. All right. Is he playing that character? Let's see. Let's continue the trailer. I hate that sound of the radiation detector. Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Should be important to everyone. To come up to the surface one day and restart civilization.
See, that's what I don't want to come up there.
In the last 200 years.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Actual vault dweller.
I am.
I thought all you dipshits were dead.
that's a kick to the Jimmy.
What you're doing is insane.
I don't set the world.
it isn't like the vault out there. It's big.
That's what she said. Oh, yeah.
I've had a rough week. Practically every person I've met up here has tried to kill me.
I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
That's all.
You need to go home. You come from a world of rules, of laws. You should not be alone.
Why did you join the Brotherhood?
To hurt the people who hurt me?
Looks kind of legit.
Ain't much.
So were you saying that the hey Ray, how's it going? Were you saying that the cutoff face guy was Chris Pine? Damn. See, that's what I'm always worried about with modern shows. Every male character is emasculated except the ghoul. That's not right. I don't know. This grizzled broad looks interesting. I hope she's in it for more than a second. Oh, Walter Huggins is the face guy. Okay. Roger. Excuse me. To be fair, one of the male characters has a good reason not to be masculine. Is it really a male character? Whoa. Hiding his candy. So let's continue. Let's continue, shall we? I might watch it.
It's clean up here, Volty.
Ouch.
Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs. Look out at this wasteland. Looks like chaos, but there's always somebody behind the wheel.
A bear. Whoa.
What is happening here?
Ouch.
Everyone wants to save the world. They disagree on how.
There you are, little killer.
Damn. Okay. Well, I mean, it looks fun. I'm not gonna lie. That looks fun. It was a decent watch despite all the demasculating of the men. There are more masculine characters than the ghoul. It's worth it. Okay, I'll give it a shot. I like the aesthetic. That's what I really appreciate. It looks like they really took the effort to, make it feel like it was a part of the gaming world. And I appreciate that. You know, if you have a license for a franchise like that, then, do it justice. Let's see. What else? What else has everyone been watching? Is there anything else that's on the radar? CWA 92. This show is unbelievably good. Well, I like that. That sounds like a raving review. Enrique Cabrera. I'm not saying it's bad. All I'm saying is that the mainstream has been successful at beating us down until we lowered our standards. I would say that there's definitely truth to that. Yeah, stuff that years ago, when I was just a youngin', I would have just laughed at and sneered at. I'm kind of more tolerant of these days just because I'm so desperate for entertainment that isn't just downright, like propaganda. It's rough. It's rough being a fan of movies these days. Let me tell you. Let's see. What else are you guys doing? I know we have Comicsgate Kings coming up tonight. They had the awesome launch of Andy Smith's comic last night, Cordrath 2. Let me pull that up. I wanted to see how well that did. Sorry, guys. I know I have a loud keyboard. I can't help it. Cordrath. Bam. Let's see. The Awakening. Okay, let me share this. Don't show me that again, please. All right. Let's show it here. There we go. Cordrath, The Awakening. For you guys who are not aware, I did review the first one. Definitely go check it out. But the world of Cordrath with barbarians and sorceress, wizards and dragons and everything. It's so much fun. It just really explores the fantasy world. And it's the first book was a lot of fun. I've been waiting for this one. So if you missed the first Cordrath, definitely try to catch up and get the first one. But if you did get the first one, why not back the second one? Let's look at Andy's amazing trailer here. This was fun. Stones, magical stones. See, I like this. It has a lot of everything. Like you get kind of the Lord of the Rings-esque type of thing. I just love fantasy. He flips the script. I love the rock music. Very nice. Over to the abs. Like yeah. Woo! Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pumped. Yeah. Get y'all hot and bothered there. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, Lord of the Abs. Hey! Oh, thank you so much, Jay, for $2. Jay Bama fan #1 Hot Dog Nation. If you watch it, I will review it, or I'll review with you. You got yourself a deal. I'll definitely watch it for sure. Oh, I got my favorite commenter of all here. Jabba the Cuck. Why won't my sexist comments go through? I don't know. Do I have my sexist comment filter on? I didn't think I did. I always try to turn that off just for you, Jabba. Yeah, you guys were talking about the different covers. I liked how Andy was talking about that. The one cover, the homage cover, that he purposely, there's like a weird tangent in it, and he purposely covered it. So, we got a hashtag started here. Free the cuck. Never. I will never free the cuck. Oh goodness. Tokyo Vice. What is this? Tokyo Vice has been all right, but I'm not into season 2 yet. Definitely worth one watch, but a little slow at times. Interesting. What is that streaming on? Let's see here. Tokyo. HBO. Okay. Yeah, I got to see. I bootleg off of my brother-in-law, so I got to see if they've kicked me out or not. Shh. Don't tell everyone. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. You guys were just wonderful. Thank you so much. 28 people came to hear me rant about a crazy movie. You guys are just so kind to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone in the chat who, just interacts and everything. Like I said, it makes these streams a lot more enjoyable. Yeah, thank you. You too, Mo. You guys were great. See, that's right. Now you got to change your name back. Jabba, the Ender of Streams. I might see if I can weasel my way onto Post Kings or something. I don't know if Malin will be up for it or not, but we'll see. Maybe have a little late night fun. I might have some drinks or whatever if I do, if I'm allowed on. Ray, great to see you. I'm going to check out Ray's site and give him some reviews on that. He's trying to do good things for all the Comicsgate people behind the scenes, working hard, really burning some brain cells, trying to get some coding done and all that for his site. Let's see. But yeah, everyone, you're great. Comicsgate Kings is coming up. Definitely check it out. I will, again, try to harass John Malin and see if he will let me on Post Kings tonight. And if I am allowed, then I hopefully will get to see you. But other than that, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone stopping by. And I will try to have another video here shortly for you guys. Love you all. And Jay, thank you for the $2. You got it, dude. I'm totally going to watch Fallout now. All right, let's end this sucker. Bye.
50 sets off of me. I've had enough. Get the hell out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray.